Hi, I'm Bill from CJ Pony Parts. As your Mustang gets older, it's inevitable that you're going to have to replace weather stripping. After all, weather stripping is made of rubber, and over time it's going to dry out. But one of the most common weather strip failures on the Fox body Mustang is the door weather stripping. Not only does it get used every time you open the door, a lot of times people drag their feet over it, which can cause it to rip. And as it gets worse, the door won't seat properly and get a lot of wind and water noise in there. So today we're going to show you how to replace your door weather stripping using our Project Black Pearl 1990 Mustang LX. This door weather stripping is going to fit your 1979 through 1993 Mustang Coupe or hatchback, and it'll be a direct replacement for your factory weather stripping. These are available individually or as a pair and are pretty easy to install. Now in this car, the passenger side has the normal rips and tears. The driver's side has actually been replaced at one point in time, but that does not fit very well, so we're going to take it apart. Now to install this weather strip, the first thing we're going to do is remove it. But to do that, we have to remove all the trim panels around it so we can properly remove it and then properly install the new weather strip. So we're going to start by removing the screws from our door sill plate, then remove the kick panel and the A-pillar. Now the kick panel should have a Christmas tree clip installed. Many of them, including my car, it is missing. But if it does, just pull the clip off and then you can remove the kick panel. All right, now we're going to move on to the quarter trim panel. You don't have to remove the entire panel, which would be a lot of work. You got to remove the screws from the front though, just so we can pull it back to seat the door weather stripping. The quarter trim panel loose, now we can remove the headliner trim. This is just held in place by spring clips, so get a good grip on it and just pull. All right, for the A-pillar now, what we're going to do is remove the screws again so we can push it back. You can remove it if you want to, but to do that, the lower screw is going to require you to take the speaker grill off, which is a little bit more work than you really have to do. You take off the middle screw, you can actually push it back enough that we'll be able to get the weather stripping in place. Okay, and now we can remove our original weather strip. Okay, just grab the seam and just start pulling. And now we're ready to begin the installation of our new weather strip. What I found the best place to start is pretty much line it up with the bolt from the seat belt and then work forward and work your way around. What you're simply going to do is just put it over it. There's a metal insert inside the weather strip. Just press it onto the pinch. Pay extra attention to make sure when you go around the curves that it is tight against the corners. That's where it's most likely going to come off. Now the weather stripping does come with extra length. You will have to cut it to fit, but before you do so, I like to grab a small rubber mallet, work your way around again. Make sure it is all the way seated on your pinch weld before you cut anything off. All right, now we know that the weather strip is seated properly, now we can cut it. And we want to make sure you get the cut pretty exact because you want it to be right up against the start of the weather strip. The more gap you get there, the more likely you're going to get an air noise. Once weather stripping is cut in place, now we can reinstall all the panels that we removed. All right, so everything's back installed. Now you're going to repeat the process on the other side and your installation's finished. Our new door weather stripping obviously fits a lot better than the previous one, and it's going to seal the door up a lot better as well. Now, I should mention when you're finished the installation, the door might be a little tight to close the first few times. The weather strip will have to break in a little bit, but it will give a little bit. If you leave it outside in the sun, it's going to be even better. As far as the installation goes, figure about an hour to an hour and a half for both sides. The only tools you'll need are a Phillips head screwdriver and a small mallet. We'll be back on the road in no time.